If you use ChatGPT on a daily basis, this is a video that I would absolutely recommend to you. What I'll be doing in this video is basically give you a breakdown of all the different types of models. So what models do exist in this kind of ChatGPT universe, which ones would I use, which ones would I not use, but also which ones would I basically not use at all. And I will give you insights into a page called artificialanalysis.ai, where you can basically see a breakdown in terms of intelligence, speed, but also price of the different models, right? So what you can do, for example, is you can compare different models, different providers for a model, or even different providers. And right now I'm under OpenAI because this is what this video is all about, right? So I would say, let's jump straight into it. Something I'm using on a day-to-day basis is basically the 4O model. Why? It's multimodal. I can basically upload text, image, whatever I want, and basically let it analyze. It's quick and simple, and the strengths are it's fast, it's accurate, handles long context, and it supports, as I already said, visual input as well because of the multimodality. Next on the list is we have O3. It's slow, but it handles important tasks very, very well because of its deep reasoning capabilities. You have creative ideation, and you can also do a lot of exploration with the model. And I would actually use it when I would go through thorough analyses. I need to do brainstorming on complex topics, or I need to do complex problem solving. And the strengths are quite obvious. It's very strong in reasoning in quotation marks, because there has been research by Apple which states that the models are actually not good in reasoning, they're just really good at predicting patterns. If we need detailed responses, and it works well with open-ended queries. What about O4 Mini? O4 Mini is complex, but also for important tasks. It's fast, yet capable performance for most common tasks. And if you want speed with a solid quality, for example, you want summaries, rewriting text, or basic code help when it comes to actually coding tasks. And the strengths side has a great performance to speed ratio. Next on the list, and something that I wouldn't personally use, is the O4 Mini High model. It's great at coding and visual reasoning, and it's best for code generation and visual tasks, and you should use it when you're working with screenshots, diagrams, or writing and debugging code. I personally use the 4O model, but this is probably a little bit of trial and error. I found the 4O model quite good, or if, for example, if you have enough capability and capacity to use the research preview, you can also use that, but not for coding purposes. For that I would actually use 4.0, but this is something I actually wouldn't be using. If we go one level higher, the O4 Mini model is something I use on a daily basis in N8N workflows. When I, for example, want to automate specific tasks, then this model gives us quite good results for what we actually want at a good, as I said, price to performance or performance to speed ratio. What we have next on the list is the GPT 4.5 model, which basically gives us research capabilities. If you want to do creative writing, research, or long-form ideation, it takes a little bit of time to actually write the output, but the output itself has really, really great quality. And you should be actually using it when you are drafting high-quality articles, stories, or exploring new ideas. And the strengths are it's fluid, the model is exploratory, and it's really, really research-focused because it also gives you the resources and links to what it actually used for its research. The GPT 4.1 model is great for quick coding and analysis. So it's actually literally what it states. So I would actually use that model if you really work on coding tasks, whether that be Python, C++, or whatever. This is where 4.1 comes into play. And I would actually use it when you need accurate technical help or complex data work. And the strengths are also relatively obvious. It's for code-heavy tasks and reliable analysis. And last but not least, something I also would not be using is the GPT 4.1 mini model. It's everyday fast tasks, basically summarizing, rewriting, and answering FAQs. But honestly, for that, I use personally the GPT 4.0 model because from my perspective, it gave me the better answers, but also at a quick time. And you should use it when you want quick answers, fast content writing, and the strengths are its speed over depth. But honestly speaking, sometimes I really want depth with speed. This is exactly the reason why I use GPT 4.0 on a daily basis. If we now compare the models, if we go to GPT models, because there's the GPT family, right, and the O family, as you can see right here. We have the O family, and then we have GPT 4.0, but also GPT 4.5, 4.1, and 4.1 mini. And if we look at the comparison, not so much about the heritage, the use case is ideal for general purpose tasks, advanced code, long form writing, and vision tasks, right? And if we look at the O models, about the use cases, it's great for specific optimization. For speed, use O4 Mini. For visual reasoning, use O4 Mini High. And then for advanced reasoning, you can use O3. If you want to compare to the Apple ecosystem, basically the GPT models are kind of the classical iPhones or MacBooks. And the O models are basically like the SE models, or like hyper-tuned or fine-tuned chips for specific applications. And if we then look at the key differences, for example, for the architecture, the GPT models are publicly known as GPT Lineage, and then internally OpenAI architectures. And if we have a look at the usage, right, we have the GPT models that we just had a look at, and then the O models appear in some tiers in previews, and then speed versus power. GPT models have a higher performance overall, and O models are really specialized and more optimized for speed and efficiency. If we have a look at GPT-5, basically the next generation of GPT models, it might become a model where it actually can by itself select from these different types of models. For example, if you say, please write me social media posts for LinkedIn, then would basically go and choose its own model by itself, and you don't have to specifically choose your own model. Basically, it would be a smart enough model to understand what model it should actually pick. And this is also one of the things you can actually select in custom GPTs. In custom GPTs, you would be able to select which model should act to which custom GPT basically. So let's say you have a custom GPT for social media, you have a custom GPT for coding, you would actually use different types of model in that custom GPT.